BTC. Come on, BTC.
Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike, and today is the 30th of August 2024. One day to go before we hit September and the last month of the worst quarter in crypto. Generally speaking, over the course of the year, quarter three has been crap. Let me just put that in plain English. Headline of the day, boring coin. I think that's what we need to rename Bitcoin. I think we should call it boring coin. I have stood and sat and gesticulated for, I don't know, it feels like 4 or 5 months now, talking about Bitcoin between 58, 56,000 and 65,000. It is Groundhog Day. Crypto Groundhog Day. Now then, how are we all? I had a day off yesterday. We did 2 streams on Wednesday. We did our Mew stream, which I think was watched by over 8,000 people, which was a pretty good turnout. The week before, we did Kronos ZK, and we got, I think, 10,500. So 2 really good Wednesday night specials, but they are very long days for a very old man, 14-hour days. So yesterday, I spent it in a vegetative state, but I'm back today. And I am feeling better. So what we're going to go through today, we are going to go through Trump again. We're also going to talk about Kamala Harris at the start of the show in the X-Files. We're going to talk about Crypto Mom. We're going to talk about BN Sol. That is hot news. We're going to talk about Tron memes. Are they going to lead to success for Tron or not? Renzo revival. Tariq, I think, brought it up at the start of the week. We're going to look at Renzo. We're going to look at Better Wig. I'm not going to tell you what that's about. I'm not even going to make any reference to it. You just have to watch that article. Good morning to Mags. And good morning to Matt Eagle. Good morning, Mr. Eagle. I hope you are well. Let me very quickly log into my chat so I can see everybody's conversations and I don't miss anybody out. Where are we? We are there. Let's go and have a look at the chat. Now, if you are new here, make sure to smash the like button, give us a follow. Bottom left-hand corner, believe it or not, we have literally just tipped over 160,000 followers. 160,000 followers. Not bad, really. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Mags. How are you? I suppose we should get on with it. Let's have a look. Oh, before I forget, the Oracle himself is streaming tonight at 9 o'clock. So about 10 hours from now, we will have our second stream of the day. The second stream of the day. Now, let's get into the prices. Not much to write home about. Bitcoin coming in at 59,500. Ethereum just over 2,500. Again, nothing. BNB at 535. Again, Solana just coming in at $140. Nothing really, a little bit of a move up, a little bit of a move down. But remember, it is the end of the month. So we do have the options expiry today. The options expiries are normally the last Friday of the month. That would be today. So we're going to have a look at them in a little minute. Flare is up, Ronin, Monero, Beam, Conflux, Aptos. A few gainers, nothing too much. At the other end, we are seeing the meme coins being smashed. Floki is down a whopping 18.5%. Dogs is down 12%. Remember, I made a video about dogs during the weekend, last weekend, and I said basically, once you get your dogs, sell it. My top out price was $1 billion. I then said it would retrace probably to about 700 million. I don't think I'm far off. I think if we look today, we're at 664 million. I don't think I was that far away. Now, in the bull run, that coin may very well go to 3 or 4 billion. But for now, I think it's going to slide. Popcat is down. Again, Popcat is one of my 3 picks for the bull run. Brett, Popcat, and Meow, or Mew, should we say. Clayton is down a bit, ASI is coming down a bit, but it has been pumping recently. Render is down, the tens, a lot of AI coins are down, probably due to the fact that a lot of people weren't too keen on Nvidia's results. So that's pretty much it from the markets. We have a lot to get through. As you would expect, we weren't here on Thursday, so I am playing catch up today. We have a lot of X-Files, we have some charts, we're going to look at some bubble maps. Let's have a look. Every once in a while, I think about this. Matt Hogan. So, that's the end of Bitcoin then, by Tim Warzel. June the 20th, 2011. 13 years ago, Bitcoin died. 11 years ago, Bitcoin died. 9 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Everybody calls for the death of Bitcoin. Yet here we are today at $59,500. What were we 4 or 5 years ago? What were we 8 years ago? Okay? Onwards, upwards, and to the moon. Except not necessarily today or tomorrow. CoinGecko, or should I say Gecko, is the bull market in the room with us now? Some people would say no. Some people would say yes. All I'll say is that we just need to wait. Probably the fireworks will begin in October, as I've been saying for a few days. I really like this meme coin, TAD. I've never heard of it. I will go and have a look at the end of the show. During the Q&A, I'll have a look at TAD. Bitwise Asset Management is to absorb the assets of the Osprey Bitcoin Trust, OBTC, adding $120 million worth of Bitcoin to its Bitcoin ETF, BitB. Again, we're going to see over the course of the next 2 years the merger or acquisition of other ETFs. And we will see some of the ETFs which haven't quite taken off, so they're not generating the fees. We will see them being consumed by the bigger ETFs. It's just the way the market works. It works the same way in every industry, the banking industry, the insurance industry. The smaller players are gobbled up by the bigger players who just want more market share. Bitcoin is still trading in the lower half of the range, if you want to still label it as such. Regardless, 66 to 67,000 is the next big level to break. 59 to 60,000 is the level to hold for the bulls. Again, we're going to look at our own charts in a minute, but again, just to show you graphically where we are. We've been here since March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months. 6 months of me telling you about lower highs and lower lows and breaking down and breaking out and false move Mondays. It's not changed, but that's what Bitcoin does. It bores people out of the charts. It bores people out of their positions. Now then, yesterday there was a $72 million outflow from the ETFs. That is 3 consecutive days of outflows. Do not worry, because we saw from the 15th to the 26th, that's 12 days, I think, if you include them both, 12 days of inflows, followed by 3 days of outflows. So it's not as bad as some people may make you believe. And if you go back to the 9th of August, we've only had 5 outflow days in all of that time. So again, nothing to worry about. Remember, this is the boring phase. This is where you really need to, I'm trying not to swear, trying to think of a nice, you need to back up your B. You need to have faith in yourself that you're doing the right thing. Now then, this is the one thing I wanted to talk about yesterday, but we didn't, so I'm going to do it today. This is Charlene Federipo, the Bitcoin strategist. I have to be brutally honest here. I am Team Harris, but I'm also a banker, and unrealized capital gains makes no sense at all. I don't care if it only applies to folks with net worths of $100 million. It's a really bad idea. Now, there are 2 reasons why it's a really bad idea. The first one is I have replied and I have explained in very simple terms that when tax is introduced, it's always aimed at the rich people. And then over the time, it will slowly seep down and it will encompass everybody. Within the next 10 years, if this is passed, and it's not likely to, expect everybody with a net worth of $1 million, $2 million to be paying unrealized gains if it was passed, okay? It's aiming at the rich people, but what says that you can't do it above 50 million? And then what stops you doing it above 25 or 10? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm explaining this is how taxes are introduced. Now, that's the first reason it's a bad idea, because it will slowly come down in scale. The second reason it's a bad idea Let me take Microsoft, for example. Bill Gates is forced to sell 25% profits, unrealized profits, forced to sell them and pay them in taxes. So he does that. That will correct Microsoft's price to the downside by roughly 10%. So that's one stock. It will come down by 10%. There are 7 million Americans who hold Microsoft stock. So 7 million Americans will lose 10% of the value of their position in Microsoft. And that's only Bill Gates. You could say the same about Jeff Bezos. You could say the same about Mark Zuckerberg. You could pick any one of these tech giants that have made too much money and we need to tax them into infinity. Okay, I understand. But it's going to absolutely destroy the American stock market. Okay? Economically speaking, and keeping politics out of the way, it will destroy the economy. You will see Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, Google or Alphabet, call them, they will all be destroyed if this is brought into regulation. This is like closing the gate after the horse has bolted. These companies have already made their trillions of dollars in profit. Taxing them 10% of their unrealized gains on the CEOs isn't going to get you anywhere. You shouldn't have allowed them to make obscene profits for the last 15 years. So this is a terrible thing, and all the Democrats are saying the same thing. It will never come into power. Well, if it was never come into power, why are you allowing her to have this as part of her manifesto? Because it's going to damage her chances of beating Trump. Rightly or wrongly, for me, this is the worst policy she has. And I haven't seen many of her policies, but this is the worst one. So again, there are two reasons: the damage to the economy, and whenever you introduce a tax like this is what will happen. And you can apply this to anything, anywhere in the world. If they bring in a rich tax in your country for, let's say, property tax, and they say, right, well, we'll do it if your property's portfolio is worth more than $100 million. Once they start to claim that money, there will then be a political motivation to lower the threshold. How much more tax can we bring in if we did 50 million? How much more tax can we bring in if we did 25 million? Okay, again, not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just telling you how these taxes over time come in. And they start with the very wealthy, and then they start to move further and further down. And they are not well thought out. And unfortunately, this one is more than likely never going to see the light of day. But if it did, it would lead to chaos in the markets. Now then, moving very quickly on, we do not have too much time today. This is Crypto Bubbles. I'm not going to put this on my show every day, simply because other streamers do the same thing, and I'm not really a fan of it. It's more of a gimmick for me. All we'll show you is, over the year, we are nice and big and green. Over the month so far, we have seen most coins crushed roughly 20 to 30%. Over the last week, we are down roughly 10, 15%. 24 hours, again, we've got some big losers. We've got a couple of greens in there. And on the hourly chart, we're starting to see a little bit of a move to the upside. Now, I am going to be making a video today. I haven't decided if it's going to be an OG video or not. I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to be honest with you. You need to be able to change your mind on things. And in the last 2 weeks, we have seen 3 projects, and these 3 projects are going to be in the video today. Phantom, Maker, and Ton. Okay? Those 3 projects I'm going to make a video about today. And the reason is, when you have more information or new information on a project, you should always be willing to change your minds. And the only exception in my rule book to that is Polkadot. I will never, ever like Polkadot or hold it. Now I know what I know about Gavin Wood. However, irrespective of that, I'm going to make a video today about those 3 projects: Phantom, Maker, and Ton. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know whether I'm going to be doing it this afternoon. It's more than likely going to be this afternoon. I haven't made as many videos as I should have done in the last couple of weeks. It's just been so hot. I'm going to be honest with you. It's too hot to work. I'm not getting any sleep. Moving on then. Overly optimistic Bitcoin traders washed out as the futures turn neutral. So the futures expiries are today, and it's been bearish, let's be honest. Prices plunged 10.8% between August 25th and 27th after briefly exceeding 65,000. Downturn has been linked to concerns of a possible recession in the US and excessive optimism in the stock market, as highlighted by Goldman Sachs head of asset allocation. Bitcoin eventually reclaimed 58.5, which is pretty much the target that we wanted it to. We wanted it to stay above 58,000. We'll look at the chart in a minute. Its indicator flipped to neutral on August the 28th for leveraged longs. Again, when you look at longs and shorts, yesterday, for example, we had a very, very short squeeze, and that was sold into yesterday. We rallied up. I think we got to 61.2, 61.3. Again, where is that? Just below the bull market support band. We rallied into that. We bounced back down again. So we're in a very choppy situation at the minute. We are sadly nearly back to the same problem we were at a month ago. Excessive optimism despite mixed macroeconomic data. Some might argue a 10% price swing over 2 days is not unusual for Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, you can say that, but we've been in this range for 5 months, and 65 is the top, 58 is the bottom. I mean, we've been there forever and a day. We haven't really moved. Here we go. So under neutral conditions, monthly contracts should trade at a 5% to 10% annual premium to account for the longer settlement period. Any reading below this level is interpreted as bearish, given that crypto traders tend to be optimistic. So we've seen 58.5 as support, we know about that. Open interest has declined 4% since the 26th. Again, I think we are going to see a close. I'd say we're going to close between 60 and 59 today. That's where I see us closing. Now, this is before the news. We've got our main articles to go through now, which is to do with Trump and everything else. But we're going to have a look at the Bitcoin chart while we're here. Good morning, Chris. Chris, you haven't given me your Solana wallet address. There's a few people who've won the Mew giveaway, and they haven't sent me their Solana wallet address. I don't think Tariq sent it me either, actually. So send me your wallet addresses and I will be able to send you your Mew that you won. All right, very quickly go and look at the chart, explain where we are, what has happened, and why we are where we are. I mean, if we go back to zooming out, just to show you, very similar to Matthew Hyland's chart. If we go all the way back here, you will see. There we go. There is nothing to report. Nothing to report. We've had a few attempted breakouts and breakdowns, and we are right back in the middle. Pretty much in the middle of where we are. There's nothing to tell you, okay, with Bitcoin. I don't foresee anything happening for about 5 more weeks. So what can happen is very simple. We're going to do more of this. We're going to do more of this. More of this. Okay? And then sometime in October, maybe we break out and we break out of this downward trend. There's nothing to report. And, you know, we've got interest rate cuts, we've got the election in America coming up, we've got, you know, more jobs data, we've got more CPI data to come out, we've got all that stuff to come out, but nothing's moving. It's just stuck. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're going to see fireworks when we're not. The bull market support band, we broke above it, we didn't hold. We came straight back down again. We could spend the next 4 weeks at 59,000. Again, I've got to caveat this. If something comes out, if more news comes out, you know, from Trump, from Harris, from the Fed, it will change the chart, yes. But as it stands, there's nothing to write home about. There are people still calling for $49,000, by the way. And again, we could go there. We could very well go there if there is some bad news coming out. I don't think we're going to see 60,000 until next week. That's a pretty good shout. I don't think we're going to see. If we do see 60,000, I don't think we're going to break 61.4, 61.5. That's the line. That's the base of the bull market support band. If we don't break that, we ain't going anywhere. What do we say about the bull market support band? If you are under it, it's like being trapped under ice in a lake. Just like in the Omen, you can't get out, you're stuck below the ice. Once you're above the bull market support band and you hold it, it becomes like a trampoline, which helps you bounce onto higher prices. We're underneath it, we didn't hold it, we've come straight back down. As I said, it's Groundhog Day. I could go back to June and just play you one of the streams that I did in June and just put my feet up and watch it myself, because the same thing over and over again we're talking about. There's no news, and another reason there's no news, this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today's stream, there's no news. There is nothing coming out. It's absolutely silent, and I genuinely think that is to do with the fact that it's the end of summer, people are having the holidays, there's no developments really going on. There is bits here and there, but nothing major, and it's just slow, and it's not going to get going again until a couple of weeks after they come back. When do they come back? Probably the first or second week of September they'll be back. Give them a couple of weeks to get back into their rhythm. Then it's October, and then we're off to the races. Historically, we're off to the races. Fingers crossed we're off to the races. Now then, let's move on. Trump hints at new plan to make US crypto capital. Now, why is this important? Well, somebody did a study, and there is I think 50 million Americans hold crypto. And of that 50 million, probably 40 of them hold Bitcoin. I would hazard a guess. Now, all you see in the crypto press is how Gary Gensler is going after every Tom, Dick and Harry. So Trump is of the opinion that if he wins 10 or 15 million votes just by supporting crypto, he will get into power. And that's a very fair thing for him to suggest. We know what politicians are like. How do we know a politician is lying? Their lips are moving. So Donald Trump wants to become the crypto capital, and I agree with him. And he's probably got some very clever people telling him the same thing. Harris needs to jump on this bandwagon, and she's not. And she's losing the crypto race really badly. Talking about putting Gary Gensler as the head of the Fed is the worst thing she could have said. I mean, if you could hit every branch on the tree on the way down to failure, she is attempting to hit every branch. Now, I am trying to remain apolitical in this. I am going to try and stay neutral, but because I'm on the outside, I don't get a vote. But Kamala Harris is just saying all the wrong things. She's saying all the wrong things about crypto, about Gary Gensler, about the Fed, about tax. It's all the wrong thing. And I don't know who's advising her, because she's making a terrible mistake by alienating so many people with money. Why would anyone with any level of money support Kamala Harris when she wants to do a 25% tax on unrealized profits? And the argument is, well, it's never going to be introduced. It's never going to be introduced. Take it off the agenda. Trump is going around saying the right things to everybody he can because he knows what the right things are to say. Whether he means it or not, it doesn't matter. But he's saying the right things. Kamala Harris is saying all the wrong things. So from the outside, it looks like political carnage in the Democrats. Now, Trump is also talking about a new DeFi platform called World Liberty Finance, known as the Defiant Ones. Okay. And it's not him running it, clearly, because he's going to be president of America, but I believe it's one of his few sons. In a post to his 90 million followers on X, the president shared a video with a voiceover. This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the US will become the crypto capital of the planet. We're not going to let that happen. It was unclear who Trump was referring to with they, and a spokesman of this campaign did not respond to inquiries. Trump tagged a verified X account named World Liberty Fi, which has 20,000 followers. The project involves his son, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, which I believe are some of his sons. Now, the issue, again, for me, is very simple. If he's doing this personal gain and he becomes president of America, then there is a conflict of interest. Clearly, there's a conflict of interest, which we do not want. Trump is seeing it from a business perspective, absolutely. Good morning, Solo Sky. Welcome to the stream. What do you think will happen after September the 18th tax rate cuts? Everybody wants 0.5%. I think Chairman Powell will give us 0.25. I think we'll see multiple cuts of 0.25. I don't think we're going to get 0.5%. I think these finance people, they have odds, if you know what I mean. And I think 36% are predicting half a percent rate cut. So 2/3 expect 0.25, and it'll probably be 0.25. Although the economy is stalling and unemployment is absolutely going vertical. So the unemployment figures are insane. Housing prices, housing market is the lowest it's been in, 10 years. He wants low inflation on houses, and he wants high unemployment. That's what Powell wants to get the economy back on an even footing. He's got all those three things, and he said so. So we're going to see rate cuts, but we're not going to get the ones that we want. Now, the issue here, of course, is conflict of interest, which is why he's put his sons in charge of it. And I think the one thing to take from this is that, again, all politicians have their own interests at heart. Now, if Trump can see a situation where he can make money while being president of America by promoting crypto and putting his son at the forefront of a crypto project, then that would be no conflict of interest, but it would be immoral, okay? But it's also immoral to tax 25% on unrealized gains. So again, you have to look at both sides. Both sides of the argument are, this is bad from one perspective, this is bad from another perspective. One is a very selfish reason in terms of trying to make money. The other is a very socialist, let's use the word socialist, let's not use the C word, way of looking at things. Now then, Hester Peirce. And again, I'm quite happy to say on here, I like Gary Gensler, and I like Hester Peirce, and I like Hester Peirce more. Why do I like Gary Gensler? Because when you step back from crypto, you realise that he is doing the right job, just not necessarily targeting the right companies, okay? FTX didn't get investigated by the SEC, even though Sam Bankman-Fried met with him multiple times and Biden multiple times. So there's a political leaning on Gary Gensler. You could see that with the Bitcoin ETF. Don't forget, Gary Gensler had the deciding vote on whether to approve the Bitcoin ETF or not. 3 Republicans voted for it, 3 Democrats voted against it, and Gary Gensler had the final say. And Gary Gensler voted for a Bitcoin ETF. Let's not forget that, okay? Now, he's also not going after Ethereum. Why? Why is he not going after Ethereum? Don't know. Why is he targeting OpenSea? Why is he going after OpenSea? OpenSea's been around for 6 years. Why is he choosing this moment in time now to do that? Is he switching his attention from crypto to NFTs? Possibly. But Gary Gensler is not a bad guy. I think he's misguided in his direction, but that could be a political motivation, like I've said, political leaning. But Hester Peirce, she doesn't say all the right things that you want to hear. She says all the common sense things. And that's what you want from politicians. You want common sense. Whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning, you want common sense. Crypto mom Hester Peirce expresses concern at the regulatory approach on digital assets. I worry it can end up taking away several benefits that crypto offers. Now, my honest opinion on this is, not every cryptocurrency is a security, but some are. Not every cryptocurrency is a commodity, but some are. Okay? NFTs. Don't tell me that NFTs are not securities, because some of them clearly are. People compare NFTs to trading cards. Fine, good comparison. But those trading cards, which are sold and then resold and then resold, have rarities, and that's great. Okay? But some of the NFT projects we've seen, and we'll talk about Bored Ape, Mutant Ape. Okay, how did Animoca Brands end up with $2 billion? How did Animoca Brands end up with its own coin, ApeCoin? How did it end up with all of the money to build out their project? It got them from the sale and resale of Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Club, and the sales tax on ApeCoin, if there is any. Okay, so that company, with the 7-figure sum in its bank account, is now running off the profits of its NFT. Okay, how is that not a security? How is it not a security? It's a private company with a board. It's got directors, it's got a CEO, it's got a CTO, it's got a COO. Every one of them is paid from the profits of that NFT project. So don't tell me that NFTs are like trading cards. They're absolutely not like trading cards in a lot of instances, and they are securities. In my opinion, they're securities. Animoca Brands would not exist today if they hadn't had the sales figures of Bored Ape that they've had and Mutant Ape that they've had. So Gary Gensler, in my opinion, is correct to look at NFTs. Now, your season ticket to your sporting club, your rail ticket, your membership to a gym, or your membership to Costa Coffee, or what's it called, Starbucks, they are clearly not securities. Okay, but that's the same with crypto. Not every crypto is a security. Not every crypto is a commodity. This is the difference. And some people try and get away with it. So Hester Peirce, she's called the crypto mom. And I think when when Trump, or if Trump wins the election, I think he will appoint Hester Peirce as the head of the SEC. And remember, Trump said, I will sack Gary Gensler on day one. Well, just a little bit of a news flash. The President of America appoints the head of the SEC, and that was Joe Biden. And when the President of America steps down, the head of the SEC offers their resignation. Okay? So Gary Gensler will resign on whatever day it is, February the 2nd, 2025. He will offer his resignation, and it's up to Trump to accept it or not. And in most instances, in history, they are accepted because they want their own people in power. Now, Hester Peirce, for me, would be the number one pick for... Why do they stick these stupid videos that scroll? She would be the number one pick for me. She's, don't get me wrong, she's not pro-crypto. She's not anti-crypto. And that's the key. She's a fair and balanced individual that will assess each case on its merits. And the SEC will still go after the bad actors. And that's what we want. We want them to go after the bad actors. We don't want them to go after legitimate projects or low-hanging fruit. We want them to be taken out if they are bad individuals. Peirce echoed what many in the crypto industry have accused the SEC of: overreach. Some of the activities are just completely outside the capital markets and shouldn't be in our reach at all. She is one of 2 Republican commissioners. Okay, so it wasn't 3 on each side, it was 2 on each side. So 2 Republican and 2 Democrats. The Democrats voted to ban or not permit the Bitcoin ETF, and the 2 Republicans voted for it. Now, Hester Peirce has been talking common sense, as far as I know. And even if Kamala Harris wins, I'd still want Hester Peirce in charge. First added that the SEC and Congress should have a healthy debate about which aspects of cryptocurrency space need to be regulated. Now, I have seen a really good article about how you can regulate crypto. I've seen a draft proposal. Now, we have the Howey test, and the Howey test is a set of questions to make a decision on whether something is a security or not. It doesn't work for crypto because crypto has some nuances, one of which is the decentralization of a coin. Now, do I think the initial sale of XRP was a security sale? Yes, I do. Do I think the initial sale of Ethereum was a security sale? Yes, I do. Okay. They are security sales. They are selling VCs. Solana is the same, by the way. Solana is the same. They sold VCs their coins at a massively discounted rate. Some people were paying 10 cents for their Ethereum, $1 for their Ethereum. That's a sale, a security sale. Why is it a security sale? Because they are taking the proceeds of that sale and using it to build and establish their company. There is no difference between that and a share sale. Now, the other side of that is the decentralization of a token. For example, if a token, let's say XRP is released, and there's only 30% in circulation and 70% is held by Ripple Labs. For me, that is a centralized token and a centralized product. Therefore, it is a security, in my opinion, based on what this has been suggested. And I think the line is 40%. If a token has less than 40% of its tokens centralized, then it is not a security. So I like this new Howey test. Howey 2. I prefer this way of doing things because crypto does need its own regulation. We've got commodities which have been set in stone for a century, oil, silver, platinum, gold. We have securities in place which deal with stocks and shares. We need a middle ground because crypto can be both. This idea that stable coins are a security is utter nonsense. And if there was a test, it would probably pass as being a form of money. Bitcoin would probably pass as a commodity. XRP would probably pass as a security. So you need to have a set questionnaire for all of crypto because I think genuinely probably 70% of all crypto tokens out there are securities. And you can say, well, they're not, but what's your argument that they're not? If it's a proof of stake and those tokens are minted and they are sold, that is a security sale. There is no debate about that. When you do a pre-sale on a token and you buy $1,000 of a token at pre-sale, it's just the same as a fundraise. A fundraise is we're going to issue $100 million worth of shares. You put in your $1,000 to buy it, you get your shares. It's a share sale. So we're going to move on. Liquid staking revolution Binance, can't say that word, prepares to launch BN Sol on Solana. I actually forgot about that. So there is going to be a BN Sol on the Solana blockchain. This underscores the growing importance of liquid staking within the crypto industry. So liquid staking, very simply, is, let's take Solana. You have your one Solana and you go along to Marinade Finance and you put your one Solana in there and you will get maybe 0.9 MSOL. Now what that MSOL does is that appreciates in value over time because the staking rewards from Solana get put into the MSOL price. So if it's day one and you have a $100 SOL and a $100 MSOL, a year later, that one MSOL will be worth $106 because it's taken the staking rewards from Solana and put it into the price. So your $100 becomes $106. That's why you would hold MSOL or BSOL or GTO Sol or whatever it might be. And that's called liquid staking because your asset remains liquid. If you stake your Solana, it can be locked for 5 or 6 days. Liquid staking, you just hold it in your wallet. So you can have a liquid staking token in your wallet, earn the yield, and not have to lock it away. And it's the same on Ethereum. Ethereum has liquid Ethereum. I think they're even talking about trying to make some of the other tokens as well. I'm trying to think of some of the examples. You've got Ethereum, you've got Solana, you've got a couple of others out there that are doing the same thing. So BN Sol is designed to function as a liquid staking derivative, allowing Solana users to stake their Sol tokens while maintaining liquidity. Staking Sol involves locking them up for a specific period, which limits them being able to be used. So users will be able to continue earning staking rewards from the Solana network while maintaining the flexibility to trade or invest their tokens elsewhere. This is a really clever move. Now, what I would argue is that this is going to be the first of many. So I would expect to see many other tokens. Now, I'm going to show you a website that we covered. Is it called Cloud? Hang on 1 second. There's a reason I'm showing you this. Sanctum, that's it. It's not called Cloud. Now you might remember me going through this token. We covered this token. I've made videos about this token. I've done all of these things. Where is the website? Just show me the website. Hang on. We will get there. There we go. Okay. So LST, liquid staking tokens. Sanctum provide the technology to create these LSTs. And you will recognize this because this was one of the LFG votes on Jupiter, which was probably April, May time. And the tokens were given out. We didn't get a lot of tokens. It was an absolute sham of tokens, and I sold them all because I got fractions. But there are going to be more tokens released over time, which is fair enough. Now, if you have a large exchange like the one you're on now, you would expect people to create their own exchange version of Solana. So what I mean by that is the exchange you're watching on now could create H-Sol or G-Sol. The very same way you've got B-Sol, BN-Sol. The reason it's called BN-Sol is we've already got B-Sol, which is Blaze. So you're going to see these liquid tokens, staking tokens, popping up everywhere, okay? Now, there is an inherent risk with every single liquid staking token, and that is depegging. And that's where the price of this liquid version of Solana detaches from the actual price of Sol. So you've got to be careful about that, but it's a very small risk. So that's coming up. If I was on an exchange that launched this, I would seriously look at holding this in your wallets on those exchanges, because you're going to be earning the 6 or 7% in Solana, and I think that's worth doing it. I've been using liquid staking tokens now for a year and a half, maybe. I think maybe a year and a half. So yeah, I'd be very, very happy to hold these on exchanges and just get it, because like I said, if you lock your tokens up, they're locked up for 5 days, you can't get them out, you're absolutely stuck. Tron catapults into top 10 cryptocurrencies amid meme coin frenzy. Is TRX the new Ethereum killer? Okay, I am sick to the back teeth of this. And this isn't just related to crypto. Do you remember when Cristiano Ronaldo went to play for Manchester United? They called him the new George Best, okay? When Garnacho plays for United, they call him the new Ronaldo. When Garnacho gets to 35 years of age and, I don't know, Johnny Smith comes along, he'll be the new Garnacho. We as a species like to compare things because it's easier to explain them, okay? Tron is not an Ethereum killer. Tron is a blockchain in its own right. So is Solana, so is Cardano, so is Bitcoin, okay? They all have inherent flaws. We've seen in the last 2 days, TON has gone down twice. Nobody's saying a word about that, but if that was Solana, it would be all over the press, okay? So double standard reporting is an issue. Tron is not an Ethereum killer. Solana isn't an Ethereum killer. Polygon and the layer 2s, they're not Ethereum killers. This is a lazy headline that is 6 years old, and it's trash, okay? If you're out there watching this and you're new to crypto, Tron is not going to replace Ethereum. Not in market cap, not in usage, not in volume. Tron is its own beast, the same way as Ethereum is, the same way Solana is. They are all their own projects. They are not necessarily competing with each other across the board. They have crossovers, yes. Now, what Justin Sun is trying to do is create a meme culture on Tron. I follow him on X. I read his tweets. He's met with people who create meme coins, and he's going to launch it on Tron. Why? Because he's seen the success of meme coins on Solana. It generates huge volumes, and of course that will reflect in the price of Tron, and that will then help them to make more money to build Tron into a better ecosystem. So this is jostling in one particular field. But Tron, does Tron have the DeFi of Ethereum? Does Tron have the NFTs of Ethereum? No, it doesn't. What it does have is massive volume of transactions. A lot of people use Tron for transactions, so they're not the same. So don't compare them. Okay, it's trash, Brenda. Tron flips Ton out of the top 10. I did say at the time, be careful what you say about Cristiano Ronaldo. He's from Madeira. I don't care what you say. Right. So basically, if you remember a few weeks ago, I said that Ton was overvalued. And I'm going to change my opinion of Ton in the video that I make today, by the way. But it's overvalued. I also said that Book of Meme was overvalued and Dog with Hat was overvalued. They were overvalued at the time. They're not anymore. Okay. So if you watch a video of mine 3 months ago where I say, don't buy Dog with Hat, it's a terrible investment, it's shocking. Why would I say that? Because it was valued at $5.2 billion. It was overvalued. What is it valued at today? 1.4, 1.6, okay? So Ton, when I said it, was overvalued because it had come out of nowhere and it's overvalued. It's retracing. Tron has flipped it. They're all jostling for positions, okay? French authorities apprehended, we know about that. We know about this. We're not going to talk about that. The Tron network has witnessed a huge uptick in activity in recent days as newly released Sunpump generates record revenues for the underlying TRX network. Sunpump is a platform on Tron. And remember, Sunpump is a copy of the one that's on Solana. And what happened on Solana was people were generating 12,000 memes a day, 120,000 memes on certain days. It was a joke, absolute joke. And it's all calmed down now. Sunpump is doing the same thing on TRX. Tron jumped. The price of TRX tokens as a result. TRX has jumped by around 12.7% over the last week, beating Bitcoin and major token gains. It's trading at 16 cents a coin, which is a really good price. I remember when I was buying and selling Tron at like 8 to 11 cents. Very, very good. Tron has emerged as a strong contender in the race to unseat Ethereum. Stop it. Tron seeks to offer a more cost-efficient alternative to Ethereum focused on slashing transaction costs and speeding up processing times. What is a problem with slashing transaction costs? The blockchain doesn't make any money. What happens if the blockchain doesn't make any money? It can't develop. What happens if it can't develop? It gets left by the wayside, okay? Cheap does not mean better. Let me make that very clear. If you go to a fancy restaurant or bar or cafe and you're paying €5 for a coffee, and down the road it's €1 for a coffee, in a bar that's got wooden chairs and tables. Yes, it's great to pop in for a coffee and have a good time. The reason the fancy bar maintains its polished tables, its fancy leather sofas, the fancy drinks behind the bar, the better waiters, all of that thing is because they charge more and they can maintain that level of service. On the whole, of course, there's profiteering going along. Tron is like going to Aldi or Netto or Mercadona or Carrefour, okay? Ethereum is like going to Harrods. Most people will know Harrods. It's more expensive, yes, but there's more money there. There's more liquidity there. There's better services. There's better meme coins there. There's better DeFi there. So they're not the same. That's why Tron will never replace Ethereum. They're not the same. It's comparing Aldi to Harrods. Aldi will never replace Harrods, the same way that Harrods will never replace Aldi. There is always going to be a place for low, mid, and high cap and high processing projects. If Tron wanted to overtake Ethereum, it's starting at the wrong end. It's starting with meme coins. No, if you want to go after Ethereum, you go after DeFi, you go after BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, you go after Fidelity, ARK Invest, you get their products onto your blockchain. That is where you make money. But where are all of those companies going? They're going to Ethereum. Why? It never goes down. It's safe. It's secure. It has massive liquidity on there, more than everything else pretty much put together. So going after meme coins, in my opinion, means that Tron is going after Solana. Cheap meme coins, cheap NFTs. As I said, it's Aldi and Netto, and you're comparing them to Harrods. So it's trash. It's never going to dethrone Ethereum. Ignore this utter dross. This article gets a 2 out of 10. Tron is evidently growing swiftly, supported by its capacity to handle a large number of transactions at lower costs. Tron Network's profitability has soared and is now higher than Ether, the usual leader in decentralized networks. Overall, Tron's growth has many in the cryptosphere wondering if it has the potential to usurp Ethereum. No, and believe you me, a spike in profitability is not the same as spending 4 years making the most profits. Solana has flipped Ethereum maybe 4 or 5 times in the last couple of months, but it can't sustain it. The same way that Ton didn't sustain its top 10. The same way that these coins that come out of nowhere, they can't sustain. Meme coins going to 4 or 5 billion, they can't sustain the sell pressure. They fall back. That's why these meme coins will go to 5 or 6 billion and then fall back to 1 billion. That's an 80% drop. But then it will rip again to maybe 4 billion because the liquidity's come back. Just be very careful when you read these articles about replacing Ethereum or replacing Solana, or it's this, that, or the other. Why can't I? There we go. Let's make this a bit bigger so you can see. Loads of comments in chat. Strategy is based on market aggregation, and we've also printed an arc on the 4-hour, which should lead to expansion. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really do not know. And I'm going to be honest. There is a period in the market, and if you go back to 2019 on Bitcoin, and again I'm jumping a little bit, I'm sorry. If you go and look at the 2019 Bitcoin surge pump, which happened in Q4 of that year, it looks an awful lot like this time, except we haven't retraced as much. And my argument is that the ETFs are propping us up. Where should we theoretically be about now? What should the price of Bitcoin be today? Number one, we shouldn't have hit all-time highs before the halving. That was ETFs. We shouldn't be at $60,000. That's the ETFs. Okay? I've said this months ago. The ETFs have broken the price of Bitcoin. I said it maybe even 3 months ago, 4 months ago. It's broken the price of Bitcoin. And all of these people telling you X, Y, or Z, or this, that, and the other, we are at a different price because we have billions and billions coming in from a new source of funds. Okay? There's a long-term issue with that, and that is, how are we going to see an alt season when the price of Bitcoin has been pumped up by an external force? How do we get the 2025 X's that we're all expecting at the end of this bull run when the money in Bitcoin isn't in crypto and it's locked away in a safe? I don't know the answer to that because we're not there yet, and we'll have to work it out when we get there. Bitcoin should probably be between $43,000 and $47,000 about now, maybe. What's that? Let me work it out. I think I said it was a third off its all-time high, so 69,000. It should be about $46,000, roughly about now. And we're nowhere near that. We're at 60. So what's that done? That's increased the value by 33% over where it should be. Now, we're not dropping as much as we did in previous bull cycles, because not only has it inflated us, but it's propping us up. And that's an issue. And that's why when you see these people telling you, we're going to be at $500,000, actually on Monday, I'm going to dig that up. Rich Dad Poor Dad said would be at $350,000 for Bitcoin by the end of this month, which is tomorrow. So Rich Dad Poor Dad, I know you're not listening. You're clearly wrong, and you're clearly giving people hopium that you shouldn't be doing, because it's unfair on new people to crypto to tell them we'll be at $350,000. Moving on. Let's get further on before I go off on an absolute rant. Renzo. So this is for Tariq. Tariq saw that Renzo was on Crow, added a bit of a look up. It didn't look necessarily legitimate, in my opinion. Renzo is expanding its liquid restaking protocol to Solana with the launch of its Res governance token, aiming to revitalize its platform through strategic partnerships and new liquidity incentives. Again, crypto isn't necessarily the Wild West, as it's described, but a lot of the fluff around it is the Wild West. And you'll see, especially around token launches, TGEs, you see so many fake links that you click on and you get your wallets empty, stuff like that. You've got to stick to the official news. And even if it's posted on Twitter, don't believe it. Give it another 12 hours. If you see, for example, let's say this afternoon, I publish a link on my Twitter account that says, go and get yourself, we're giving away 0.1 Ethereum to everybody that goes and signs up to Renzo this afternoon. It's clearly a lie, isn't it? It's clearly fake. If you see any posts like this, and I covered one on Wednesday, where you get $13,000, $3,000, $1,000, $500 for free, they're fake. They're always going to be fake. Renzo moving to Solana is going to create copycat websites with scams on them. And the only way to avoid it is what I tell you to do time and time again. And that is follow these people on X and wait and wait and wait until it's launched. And then you go and check it out through the verified link. That's the only way to stay safe. Renzo expands its liquid staking, as we have just said. Renzo and Solana optimistic network soon are making significant strides in the blockchain space, at each advancing innovative solutions that could shape the future of DeFi and layer 2 scaling. I hate these ridiculous statements. It's like me going to the shop. I am boldly going to express my beliefs and my emotions, drastically buying a loaf of bread to return to feast on the benefits of my labor. I went to the shop to buy a loaf of bread. Okay, let's cut this nonsense. Renzo and Solana are working together. That's all you've got to say. Renzo, known for its liquid staking protocol, is expanding. It's going on to Solana. Soon has secured funding to develop its Solana-based layer 2 scaling solution, focusing on enhancing cross-chain interoperability and performance. Again, interoperability. What did we want originally 2 years ago when we started this channel? We wanted adoption and regulation. Adoption and regulation. We now have 3. Adoption, regulation, and interoperability. Interoperability is absolutely vital for this to work for retail. It is not going to work unless we have interoperability. every chain connected together securely using Chainlink or using others, maybe the AG layer, they need to be connected. It's so important. It's now more important than adoption and regulation, because we're pretty much there with regulation. Is this an AI article? The token will be introduced to Solana through the Wormhole's native token transfer framework, a powerful tool. We know about that. The move is significant as it positions Renzo among the first protocols to experiment with Wormhole's multi-gov system, potentially setting a precedent for how DAOs operate across blockchains. This launch comes on the heels of the recent introduction of EasySol, a liquid restaking token designed to complement Gito's up-and-coming restaking platform. Again, EasySol, JSol, MSol, BSol, they're all the same thing, and most of them will be using Sanctum's LST. So it's been a key player, blah, blah, blah. Renzo's journey is not without challenges. It launched in December. It got hacked, I believe. It crashed. It was all kinds of pain, but it's at the beginning. So again, Renzo, good. We want to see that. We want to see more projects talking to each other. That is how we want it to work. Now, very quickly, the last article of the day, 12:01. We've slid under the closing gate of the stream with this last article. Tariq, yeah, it's still a scam. It's not a scam on Solana. It is a scam on Kronos. And the best thing to do with these things as well is, if you see something like this or a link on Google or anything like that, wait for the news to come out. You're not going to miss out. Nobody in the history of crypto has launched a project and given people 24 hours to get involved. It's nonsense. So if you see Rezo project about to launch on Saturday at 9 a.m, get in quick. Scam. Scam. I covered Solana VM in a video, one of the best videos I've made recently in terms of numbers. It's a scam, and it's taken in millions of dollars. It's a scam. There are so many scams that I could make a daily stream and it would just be scams, okay? What do we say? I've not said this for a while. My job on this channel is not to try and make you rich. It's to try and stop you from becoming poor. I haven't said that for a very long time, but it's a reminder. I will always make videos about scams, okay? I don't make any money off them. I make maybe $2 a video, $3 a video. I might only get watched by 300 or 400 people on those videos, but that doesn't matter. If I've stopped 300 or 400 people from being scammed, isn't that worth making the video? If I make 100 videos and 100 people watch each video, what's that? 10,000 people I've stopped from being scammed. Sometimes it's not about making money. Sometimes it's about doing the right thing. And we are poorer for doing the right thing. But I can sleep well at night. There is another video that I was going to make this afternoon about a project called Sundogs, I think it is, that's been promoted by 11 influencers. Between them, they've got over 2.5 million followers. They've got the project to $100 or $400 million in market cap, and they are all selling all of their tokens. They've made a fortune out of it. Who have they scammed? Have they scammed Gary Gensler? Have they scammed Donald Trump? No, they've scammed you. You are their target, because if it's $100 each and there's 10,000 of you, that's $1 million they've got out of your pockets collectively. They are a drain. They are leeches on crypto. That's why we highlight them all the time. I'm not trying to scare you off. Stick to the top projects. You're watching us on an exchange. By the time these projects get to exchanges, the majority of them, 99.9% of them, are not scams. There is always going to be some that slip through the net and get listed on exchanges. That's fine. But you should feel safer buying coins on the exchange you're on today than going off to Solana or Tron and buying a coin called Mitsubishi Doge. Right? Don't do it. I get so many DMs from people saying, what about this coin? And it's got a $5 million market cap. No, don't. It has to be 100 million or above, 150 million or above, around that target or above. Don't bother. And even then, you get the likes of Sundogs. Last one then. This is quite a funny article. Right then. Smash the likes. Xin, welcome to the stream. Remember, if you're new here, please smash the like button. It's greatly appreciated. And give us a follow. We are struggling so much to get new subscribers on a certain red channel. It's nearly impossible. Retail has gone. Nobody's watching our videos. So if you are here, you do stumble across us, smash the like button. Crypto scammer caught despite changing face and wearing wigs. Now, this is hilarious. South Korean authorities apprehended the unnamed criminal after 10 months on the run. This is what we want to see. We want to see these people being caught. Plastic surgery wasn't enough to keep an accused scammer in South Korea out of jail. The police have arrested the leader of a scheme that stole 16 billion won, $15.6 million, according to a report. The unnamed suspect went on the run in September 2023 after failing to appear for a hearing. According to the police, they went under plastic surgery to alter their eyes, nose, shape of their face, which cost 21 million won, $16,000. They also wore wigs. This is brilliant. This is genius. Law enforcement officials were able to determine they had the right person by using footage from surveillance cameras, phone records, and search history. On Wednesday, Hugo Hyung-soo Lee, the CEO of Haru Invest, was facing charges for stealing $800 million. Wow. Earlier this month, authorities charged an unnamed civilian ballots. But anyway, we've gone off on one. I thought that was genius. So this person has gone off, changed the face, wore a wig, and still got nicked. That's what you want to see, okay? Let that be a lesson to you. I am sure if Tariq put a wig on, a big afro on, I'd still tell it was Tariq, just by the way he types in chat. So wearing a wig doesn't change the way you speak. Plastic surgery doesn't change the way you walk, doesn't change your mannerisms. It's one part of it. There is, of course, OneCoin. She is the #1 scammer of all time that's still on the run, and hopefully one day she will be caught. But for that, just think, crime doesn't pay, and eventually it will catch up with people. You might not get your funds back, but most of these people will end up in prison. The one thing that annoys me about politicians, especially when they criticize crypto and they say it's full of scammers, is blockchains are publicly verifiable stores of information. Everything is in the public eye. People like ZachXBT, they work with the FBI, they work with Interpol, they work with exchanges to catch criminals, okay? A bank or multiple banks, they have private ledgers. That information is not available to the public. So the only people that can get hold of that information are the police through using warrants and things of the like. Because it's public, you have vigilantes, Carpet Rug Muncher, ZachXBT, they catch these people and provide that information to the police. And we should applaud them, okay? We want as many of these people gone from our industry yesterday, okay? Because they are nothing but leeches on our relatively fledgling industry. Now, we are going to go. It is Friday. There may be another stream a lot later today or tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to be a full-on stream. Brogan is streaming in 9 hours. He's going to do his trading stream tonight. Tariq once had an afro. There we go. I bet you look really cool. You'll have to send me a picture of you with your afro. I had long hair once, Tariq. My hair went all the way down my back. I was a goth rocker. I used to listen to Pearl Jam, all that, Faith No More, Guns N' Roses, all the old school music I used to listen to. I had long hair. I was a lot thinner than I was then, back then as well. Anyway, nobody needs to know about my long hair. A lot of people want to know about Tariq's afro. So, until tomorrow, until this afternoon, have a great Friday. If you don't tune in, have a great weekend. Remember, there are a lot of people that won on Wednesday that haven't sent me their Solana wallet address, and Chris in chat is one of them. Hasn't sent me his wallet address. I think I've paid Mags. I think I've paid Kabir, I think, got paid. Something like that got paid. Send me your wallet address on Telegram and I'll send you the Mew. Anyway, have a great weekend. If you don't see you, take care. We will be back next month. I can say that because it will be the 2nd of September. See you later.
Come on, BTC.